Federal campaign trail. Good evening, I'm Ryan Bonazzo. Thank you for joining us. Local MPP Michael Gravel says he's very discouraged that the Ford government has yet to outline a plan for vaccine passports, and he worries that Ontario is lagging behind other provinces. Gravel says the vaccine passport or certificate is a means to keep non-essential business open and is crucial to ensuring the safety of fully vaccinated people. He believes it will also help avoid another lockdown as the Delta variant continues to surge in the southern part of the province. Gravel would like to see the passport in place before kids go back to school and said it's not just his Liberals pushing for it.
We are lagging behind. Other provinces have been moving forward very quickly. I believe Quebec's passport comes into effect on tomorrow, September the 1st. We need to get this in place as quickly as possible as far as I'm concerned, and certainly our party feels that way, as do the opposition parties.
The 34 medical officers of health had stated they would create their own certificates if the province doesn't, but Gravel hopes it won't come to that. Now this, as Ontario Premier Doug Ford has asked for changes to be made to the province's soon-to-be-announced certificate. The provincial cabinet reportedly met on the subject for about 2 hours Monday night, but it wasn't approved. Sources say Ford wasn't happy with what was presented and asked for further work to be done. Colin DeMello explains.
For the second straight day, Premier Doug Ford met with his cabinet to discuss what's become a controversial topic for the Ford government, a certificate to prove your vaccine status. The government first confirmed on Friday that it would introduce a vaccine certificate this week. But sources tell CTV News the initial proposal to cabinet yesterday was rejected by Premier Doug Ford himself, who was unhappy with the plan and how far-reaching it would be, sending the government back to the drawing board as COVID-19 cases continue to rise.
I don't know why Doug Ford is yet again laid off the mark. I mean, they should have had a plan in place already. They should be at the point where they're implementing that plan right now. And apparently they're in, pitched political discussions about the vaccine passports.
The last-minute rejection by Premier Ford triggered a flurry of cancellations today. A news conference that was supposed to be held today was scrapped. An internal health briefing for members of the Ford government was also canceled. And most significantly, the Chief Medical Officer of Health called off his weekly news conference today, citing the government's ongoing work on the vaccine certificate.
So they're letting politics rule the day once again instead of public health. It's shameful.
What we do know is the province is leaning towards a QR code system to prove vaccination status. What is still in question is whether it would be provincially mandated or whether it would be up to individual businesses to enforce it.
It needs to provide legal protections to small businesses, to healthcare institutions, and others who are charged with enforcing the vaccine certificate program. Because there likely will be pushback.
Critics say the government has to be clear.
What we're hoping to see is details of the framework, including the guidance that goes along with it. This is going to be critically important.
It is unclear when the province will unveil the pass, increasingly seen as the key to reducing the spread of the fourth wave.
Ontario is reporting 525 new COVID-19 cases today. This follows 6 straight days with case counts above the 650 mark. Of the new infections on Tuesday, 434 cases involve those who aren't fully vaccinated or have an unknown vaccination status. The remaining 91 cases are in people who are fully immunized. Important information for parents. The province has made changes to its COVID-19 screening tool. The updated provincial guidelines have removed runny noses, sore throats, and headaches from the list of COVID-19 symptoms. The guidance has also been tweaked to allow fully vaccinated siblings of students with COVID symptoms to continue attending classes. The number of active COVID-19 cases in the Thunder Bay District has now fallen to 8. That's 2 fewer than on Monday. There are no new cases being reported today. Another 2,500 people rolled up their sleeve last week for the vaccine. About 700 of those were for first doses. Those numbers are on par with what's been seen throughout the month of August. According to the district health unit, 73% of eligible people and nearly 65% of the total population is now fully vaccinated. However, the Ministry of Health, which uses a different population data set for the district, continues to report higher numbers. According to the province, 80% of the eligible population has received both shots. The head of the Thunder Bay Police Association says COVID vaccines should be a choice, not a requirement for city police officers. The association, which represents about 350 officers and other staff, has urged those who can get vaccinated to do so. But as the Thunder Bay Police Force develops a vaccine policy for staff, Association President Colin Woods says there should be an alternative for those who choose not to get the shot, even if they don't have a medical or religious exemption.
If there's members that don't want to be vaccinated, we hope that the service takes that into account and allows them to continue to work at the station with some protocols in place. Whether it be daily testing, weekly testing, to make sure that everyone's healthy.
The police service says the association will be involved as it crafts its vaccine policy in the coming weeks. The force is collecting data on staff vaccination rates, but says those numbers aren't yet finalized. Thunder Bay Police and firefighters saved a man from drowning in the Kaministiquia River on Monday afternoon. Police were first called to the Cam River Heritage Park shortly before 5 o'clock. One officer jumped into the river to assist the man. Firefighters then arrived and helped to remove him from the water with a sling. While the victim initially resisted the rescue effort, he was eventually lifted out without further incident. Paramedics then transported him to hospital for further treatment. Well, police are asking for help from the public to investigate incidents of vandalism targeting pride flags and signs, as well as orange T-shirts that residents have placed outside their homes to honor Indigenous children found buried in mass graves near former residential schools. Thunder Bay Police are investigating one such incident of pride flag vandalism on Marks Street near Walsh. Officers are asking anyone with information or those in the area who may have captured the incident on a surveillance camera to contact police or Crime Stoppers. As part of our ongoing federal election coverage, we will continue to give voters a closer look at the candidates vying for the Thunder Bay Superior North seat. Today, the focus is on Liberal incumbent Patty Hajdu, who's out to prove she remains the best voice to represent the region in the House of Commons. Kurt Black reports.
Since being elected in 2015, Liberal incumbent Patty Hajdu's driving goal has been to ensure everyone she represents has a fair chance to succeed. And if re-elected for a third term, she plans to continue the progress achieved in her time in office, ensuring Northern Ontario remains a priority in the House of Commons.
I know how to work the system. I know how to get money from various departments for Northern Ontario. And I know that Northern Ontario has so much to contribute. And we cannot let the progress that we've gained over the last 6 years slide by. We need to continue on this path. Making sure that Northern Ontario is on the map is exactly what I'm going to do.
Hajdu believes she remains the best candidate to represent voters in the Thunder Bay Superior North District due to her vast knowledge and experience gained in the region over the past 6 years.
Since being elected in 2015, had the ability to learn in great detail about the strengths and opportunities that lie here in Northern Ontario and the challenges that we face as a community, as a region. And I think that makes me an excellent candidate to be the Member of Parliament going forward.
Despite winning re-election in 2019 by over 7,000 votes, Hajdu is not letting any level of complacency enter this campaign.
One should never take for granted winning an election. We're out there knocking on doors 2 or 3 times a day. I have an incredible team of volunteers. We're fundraising, we're meeting with people, we're handing out signs, and we're visiting the riding as frequently as possible. This is exactly what a candidate should do.
Kurt Black, TBT News.
Well, let's turn our attention to the Kenora riding now, where the NDP's Janine Seymour is looking to bring the party its first ever win in that riding. Adam Riley has more.
Everything in front of me, I look to it as an opportunity. So even though it's a summer snap election in Kenora, like that is an opportunity.
Ever since the Kenora riding was established in its current form in 2003, the NDP have never been able to win the riding. But Janine Seymour believes this time voters are ready for change. But the Kenora area lawyer admits there is some work to be done before that can happen.
I understand that timing, and not many people know me unless you were in court or ran around in legal circles. You probably didn't cross my path. And because I spent so much time being educated outside the province, that's another barrier. But I'm homegrown from the community. I'm definitely committed and somebody localized. So I hope that people are encouraged and come out and get to meet me and get to know me.
As she meets, speaks, and listens to voters, Seymour says the pandemic and the hardships it has caused is a common theme brought up, but notes many also don't want a direct return to normal.
We've been isolated and gone through a global trauma, and we're wanting to get back into it, but not return to status quo. They're wanting change.
Seymour says that change comes in the form of the NDP's platform, which she believes will have a direct impact on the Kenora riding, and if elected, wants to see a priority put on the region.
We are not as connected geographically where we're placed and the barriers that exist here. So I would be insisting on resources appropriately spent where the need is, and it's here.
Adam Riley, Northwest Newsweek.
It was an emotional day for some, but a chance to educate others as the city held an event to bring awareness to drug overdoses. It's an issue that has been increasingly difficult in Thunder Bay, impacting families and taking many lives. TVT's Danielle Bain reports.
Locals gathered around the overdose tree at Cam River Park for an emotional message from the Thunder Bay chapter of Moms Stop the Harm. The group of women who have all had children die as a result of overdose showed the first-hand effect that it can have.
We are what's left of overdose addiction, and it hurts.
I drive down May Street or Simpson Street and I see a young person, young adult struggling, and I look at them and my heart just breaks because they are somebody's someone.
People need to be educated, and we see it all because we've lived it all.
It was a part of International Overdose Awareness Day, where community resource groups outlined the services they provide. Overdose training took place, providing information to those who attend the annual event.
A lot of the conversations that we have is around just saying, we're here. This is our van. Come see us in times of crisis. Come see us when you need something. We are out in the community every single day. We have routine stops across the community on both sides of town, as well as we do get phone calls to come and assist with certain situations.
In 2020, the city saw 99 overdose-related deaths, 64 of those from opioid use. That's why having International Overdose Awareness Day in person is so critical.
It is a much different feeling when you're able to connect with people face to face, and they're able to, get a sense of the different services and supports in the community and the different resources and initiatives that we've got underway to address the overdose crisis in Thunder Bay.
I would give anything not to be here, but I need our children to be remembered, and I'll do that every way I can because they lived, and they're not going to be forgotten.
Danielle Bain, TVT News.
There's another instance of blue-green algae in the area, according to the district health unit, this time at Rosmere Bay on Middle Lake Shabandawan. It was found in a water sample collected on Friday. The water should be avoided until about 2 weeks after the blue-green algae bloom has dissipated. Anyone who comes into contact with blue-green algae should wash with soap and clean water. Organizers of next month's Wake the Giant Music Festival are following the lead of other large concerts across Canada in creating a new COVID-specific entrance policy. All attendees will be required to show proof of full vaccination or a negative COVID test within 72 hours before entering the event grounds on September 18th. Organizers say it's about taking care of all the fans, performers, and vendors and getting back to live music safely. Children under 12 are exempt from the policy. Oak Medical Pharmacy is offering discounted rapid tests for $20 the day before and day of the concert. Wake the Giant is expected to bring more than 2,000 people to Marina Park. A lot of excitement around that event for sure.
Absolutely. I'm definitely going to want to check it out, and hopefully they'll have the exact same weather we had today because it was absolutely gorgeous, wasn't it, Avery?
Well, it was pretty nice out there today. I'm just going to plug quickly. I've already got my ticket for Wake the Giant. You can definitely see me there, but I always said all summer long, my ideal summer day is anywhere from 23 degrees to around 25 degrees.